Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and this is your month in review for October 2024. We're going to be going over the usual things, the best new games, the disappointments, general highlights, crowdfunding highlights, videos from other creators, from myself, all of that, links and timestamps to everything down below. Recently, I've been doing this video series over on the couch area, but there's a game currently being played on the Ottoman, so we're going to choose to not do that right now and instead film this here. But let's go ahead and start off with our board game stats. October was a pretty decent month as far as games went, although a lot of these games are padded by just a whole bunch of shuffleboard plays. I mentioned in a few videos, I've been playing that a lot. We have 148 games played, or logged plays, I should say, 148 logged plays across 44 different games, 21 of which were new to me. So a little bit fewer new games tried in October, a lot of repeat games. That ratio 148 to 44, that's over three games played per game on average, which is actually pretty decent. I think I usually trend closer to a 2-for-1 average, which usually represents the fact that like newer stuff I'm usually getting in a bunch of plays, and then older stuff is that one game I play that I haven't played in 5 months, but usually it does average out. Now, as far as the games that I played the most, usually I cover the games that I played at least 5 plays of. We have God's Heist with 5 plays in my belt, Castle of Burgundy with 5 plays in my belt. We have Draconis 8, or God's Heist, by the way, upcoming crowdfunding campaign. I went through a few of the scenarios and then started again to give a film playthrough. So between those, got 5 plays. Castle of Burgundy got in 1 play in person, 4 plays online. We have Draconis 8, which I got in 7 plays of. Honestly, I think it's a lot more than that. I just don't think I logged every single play. Draconis 8 is the TCG from Wise Wizard that has both an app as well as a physical game. I think I played the physical game like 4 or 5 times alone. The app I must have played at least 8 or 9 times, so it's a lot more than 7 officially, but I have the app 7, so that's what we're going to go with. In general, I always say this, when I don't have a tickle in my throat, I always say this, but assume that the log plays are lesser by 10 to 20% of what I actually played, because I frequently forget to log a lot of plays. We have Cascadia with 15 log plays, got a lot of plays of that in, mostly from the beta for the oh my gosh, what's the company? The company, they put out Dune Imperium, they put out the, oh my gosh, they why can't I? Direwolf. They have the Cascadia digital apps. I've been playing that a lot. And then we have Shuffleboard with 34 plays, definitely padding my plays out by a lot. We have Shuffleboard just getting a ton of plays every single day that one gets tabled. It's just on the kitchen counter, and so it just gets tabled every single time, and it's just getting play after play after play. I'm enjoying Shuffleboard a lot, and that hasn't changed yet. I give a theoretical guess that Shuffleboard would be my most played game of the year by the end of the year, and that's factoring in the fact that I only got it like a month and a half ago, but we'll see how that goes, but it's still trending in that direction. Anyways, that is as far as my games of the month, so generally a good month. I think a little less as far as the new stuff and a lot of Shuffleboard in there, but overall a decent month as far as log plays. As far as videos of the month, my favorite videos from other creators, starting with, we have coming in number 5, we have filming a commercial for Ken Jennings. This is a video from Tim Chun, who does a lot of video work in the board game industry, and he has a semi behind the scenes video of, it's like a 12-minute video of just, breaking down what it takes to go ahead and get a video commercial done, bringing in the crew, setting up some shots, some just general behind the scenes stuff that I thought was a fun behind the scenes look at what goes into some of these things. There's a lot that goes into like the high quality work you see, and Tim Chun in general, fantastic channel. Coming in number 4, we have Cost Per Play from Game Brigade. He did a video breaking down the dilemma he finds himself in about the nature of these cost per plays on larger games. A dilemma that I very much empathize with. The idea that, something like Marvel Zombies, you pay an absolute bucket load for, and you get a handful of plays into that compared to some of these other games. So, like, sure, it's great, it's awesome, but are you really, like, is it really worth it if you pay like $700 all in and you play a game 4 times? Your cost per play is astronomical. You can play the game 14 times. You're still looking at $50 per play. It's just a large cost per play, and depending on who you are as a gamer and what types of games you're getting or not, or all that, you're going to find yourself with some really good numbers. I've done actually 2 full video series on cost per play, some of my worst ones and my best ones, but you can be a little all over the place as far as how these things go. Coming number 3, we have an 8-player game of Captain Obvious. This is actually from Lucky Duck, but filmed as well by Tim Chun, so he's showing up twice here. But an 8-player game of Captain Obvious, which I thought was very funny to watch, a very enjoyable game. I'm a big fan of Captain Obvious. I think it's one of those sleeper hits, and I definitely recommend you check it out if you have a chance to do so. Coming in number 2, we have The Dragon's Tomb, coming in with a board game review of a sex doll, which is not what I expected to be putting in my favorite videos of the month, but it is one of my favorite videos of the month. It is mostly safe for work. It's obviously, I mean, it is a sex doll, so it leans into humor around that, but it's playing it safe. So I'd say that you can certainly watch it with a few raised eyebrows, but there won't be any nudity or anything like that if you do watch it with people around. So enjoy the questions you get about what type of board game content you're consuming. But either way, I thought it was a phenomenally hilarious video. Definitely recommend checking that out. He has a bunch of videos recently he's been coming out with that are very, very solid. That's just one of them. And then coming at number 1, we have the worst type of gamers. Dice Tower did a bracket style video where they basically covered the worst types of gamers and had their audience vote on the worst kind of gamer, which I thought was a great video just because it was immensely entertaining to see people agonize over what kind of thing is the worst amongst several different categories, which they're all sucky in different ways, but some are more sucky than others, and not everyone agreed on which ones were the suckiest in different ways. Highly entertaining video. It's an hour and a half of your life, but put it on 2 times speed, throw it on in the background. It's worth watching. For our best new games of the month, I'm going to start off with number 5. We have Agent Avenue. Agent Avenue is a small box game from, oh my gosh, the people who brought, I'm going to blank on this. Agent Avenue. Check out Agent Avenue, a small 2-player game that I really enjoy. Review should be coming soon on the channel. We have coming at number 4, we have Cape of Europe. This is going to be coming to you from Keymaster Games. I'm blanking on all the names today, but Keymaster Games, Caper Europe. I played the original Caper, and I thought it was good. I played Caper Europe. I think Caper Europe is better, and I definitely enjoyed it a lot more. Coming at number 3, we have World Order. World Order coming to you from Hegemony Games. I think that's a very solid game. I do have concerns about the length and ease of tabling it, especially with my group, but overall, I very much enjoyed it and definitely recommend it. Coming at number 2, we have Western Legends Stories, which is a kind of takes Western Legends and smacks it into a legacy exploratory game, which I enjoyed a lot more. I don't think it's the kind of game that I feel the need to play after, but as far as giving me a story or a series of games to go through, very much enjoyed what I got to see in the prototype, and definitely recommend checking it out. And then coming at number 1, we have Lord of the Rings Duel, easily my favorite new game of the month. It takes Seven Wonders Duel and just adapts it to the Lord of the Rings universe, and does a great job doing so. I very much enjoyed it, and I think there's room for both in my collection. Although someone did say that they supposedly have no plans for expansion content, and that made me sad, because I want expansion content for that game. From there, we have my disappointments of the month. As usual with this category, I don't try to get to 5. I just go through my games played, and I cover which ones I think are disappointments to me. And coming in number 3 over here, we only have 3. Coming in number 3, we have Restart. Restart from Teetotum Studios. Wasn't even a bad game. It's just that I thought I would like it a lot more based on the theme and what was being presented. And then when I actually got down to tabling it, I liked parts of it. I still enjoyed parts of it, but the overall package deal I didn't enjoy as much as I was hoping I would. Coming in number 2, we have Antarja, which is a beautiful looking game from Pegasus Spiel that I thought looked great, had good table presence, looked very easy to dive into. I read the rules, I was excited for it, and then I just found it a little bit too samey every single time you play it. It's not a game that shifts up as you play it. It's a game that is the exact same game every single time you play it, and that left me wanting a little. Coming in at number 1, we have Star Trek Lower Decks Buffer Time. I wasn't expecting a lot from this game, and it still is my worst game, my biggest disappointment of the month. It just was way too, I don't know. It was like one of the worst push your luck games I've played. Too complicated, not rewarding enough, too random. It's just, I can't think of a real reason to recommend playing that one. Came in low on that one. Star Trek's Lower Decks Buffer Time. I think its name's even longer than that, but that's the condensed version of the name. From there, we have my favorite videos of mine channel. My favorite videos for the month, we're going to come in at number 5 with the Primal Challenge. This time facing off against, oh my gosh, I forgot, the D-Dragon thingy. Either one of the dragons. We came in the challenge in this one. Spoilers in this one. We did manage to win, scraping by with a narrow victory, but I always enjoy playing Primal. Lots of fun and still having a blast with it. Coming in number 4, we have my review for Shuffleboard. It's an interesting one because that's a review that I put up expecting maybe 1,000 people to watch it. Usually, it's interesting the kinds of videos that get views. And I think in general, when it's not a hot new game, usually my dedicated videos of games that aren't hot games usually get, anywhere between 800 to 1,500 views. You usually need the game to carry a certain amount of interest. And Shuffleboard, I expected, I was like, I'm loving this game, I'm having so much fun with it, but it's not going to get a lot of views. It's not, no one cares about Shuffleboard. I'm going to click past that. And people liked it. People watched it, which I am excited they did because I'm having a lot of fun with it, as evidenced by the fact that I have 34 plays this month. That's more than a game a day on average. And, usually I do, every third day I'll knock out 4 or 5 games in a row. So that's where the math is coming from. But either way, that's my, I really enjoyed the review. It's a slightly different one just because of the nature of the game. From there, we have coming at number 3, we have Master of Orion Unboxing. Master of Orion, oh my gosh, what was it called again? What's the the tagline, Master of Orion something else. But either way, this is going to be an upcoming crowdfunding campaign from Arkane Studios, and I enjoyed doing the unboxing, mostly because it was a little chaotic and all over the place, and I kind of like it when it's chaotic and all over the place, and I was very much into the game because I have such fond memories of Master of Orion. I did, as I said in the video, I did download Master of Orion, and I did start playing it, and I have not gone back after that first play. I played it for like an hour, and then it's like, okay, now back to work, and then I haven't gone back yet. Instead, I started playing Factorio again, which was a mistake because I am a sucker for Factorio. So much better. I mean, Master of Orion will hold a place in my heart forever, but Factorio is my current obsession as far as video game time sinks go. So check that out if you don't want to actually be productive for the next 2 months. Coming in number 2, we had 5 ways to use Board Game Geek that you didn't know about, which granted is a slightly clickbaity title, because I guarantee you that there are definitely people who know about some of those ways, and there are some people who even knew about all those ways. But I was hoping that most of you would not know about at least one of those features, which seemed like for most of you, you did come in learning about 1 or 2 things at least, and some of you a lot more than that. But I think it's a very helpful video. It's educational, it's useful, it's interesting. I'll probably try to do more things like that, and in fact, if you missed it, Jamie Stegmaier kind of saw the video and did a follow-up post to his community asking what other ways, like what other things you don't think people know about, and came up with a whole list of his own. You can go ahead and check that out on the Stonemaier Games blog. And coming in number 1, we have the best 10 small box games. These are 10 small box games that I give a 5 out of 5 to. I think that very often you have these giant Marvel zombie style games, which can be a lot of fun, but they're also very expensive. And then you have things like, Hanamakoji, which is an excellent, amazing, incredible experience, and significantly cheaper and easier to table. And so, in general, I think there's room for both in your world, but you don't always have to be spending hundreds of dollars to get the best experiences. From there, we have a crowdfunding highlights for the month. This is actually, we had a lot of games that I was kind of interested in. Not a ton that I backed. I still try to be very selective about backing things. Even if I'm interested in a game, I might get it down the road, but especially if I don't think it's a great deal. But there were a lot of games that I was very interested in. Coming in at number 5, we have Copy Battle. That was an interesting abstract game that kind of has a Connect 4 element with powers and abilities. Really enjoyed what I saw. The shipping price made it so that I wasn't willing to get it on crowdfunding. It was basically the price of the game just to get the game again. And so I'll wait for retail on that one, but definitely very interested in it. We have Citizens of the Spark from ThunderWorks Games, a game that I thoroughly enjoyed. Very Dominion-esque vibes to it. Had a lot of fun with it and looking forward to the final copy. We have Deliverance, the follow-up campaign to Deliverance, Council of the Fallen or whatever it was, giving you more content for the game as well as a new way to play it, which is probably my favorite way to play it because it gives you the combination of skirmish and scenario that really work well together. The skirmish and one-shot together that I really enjoyed. Coming in number 2, we have Cloudspire, the final campaign from Tease from Chip Theory, just bringing you new Cloudspire content, a lot more Cloudspire coming your way, which is a game that I don't play the content I have, but it is an excellent game that I really enjoy. And then coming in number 1, we have Circle the Wagons. Again, going back to my comments about small box games, sometimes the best things are just the games you can most reliably table without having to spend a bucket load of money for, and so that's my number 1 campaign of the month. And then lastly, we have the best games in general, the best experiences. These are almost always games I've already played, or they'd be in the new games category. But coming in number 5, we have Caesar Sees Rome in 20 minutes. Haven't pulled this one out in like 6+ months, and I pulled it out and got a few games in with a friend, and it holds up. It is still a tight 2-player strategic game that I thoroughly enjoy. Coming in number 4, we have Cascadia, which I covered in my games I've been tabling a lot, but Cascadia, I've been having a lot of fun with it, both playing in multiplayer and solo, and it's one that I still enjoy. I think that Flat Out Games has a good line of games, Calico, Cascadia, and others, but those are easily my favorites from them, and I just get a lot of table time in on those games. Coming in number 3, we have Harmonies. Kind of same vibe over there, but I'm really been enjoying Harmonies. I think it's got I haven't played it a lot solo. In fact, I don't think I've played it at all solo, but that's partially because I think the solo is more like trying to get a good score, and I like solo with scenarios. Give me a few scenarios to play through, and I will happily play something solo. If it's just about getting a good score, I find that I enjoy playing that once. That said, I haven't played Harmonies solo even once. It's all been multiplayer for me, but thoroughly enjoying that one still, getting a lot of table time on that. And then coming in at number 2, we have Creature Caravans. This is one I've played before, but I managed to get a few more plays in it now that it arrived, and it's still good. It's not as high as my first play. My first play, I think I was expecting nothing from it, and so my first play was really like very, very up there. But subsequent plays have leveled me out a drop, but I still very much enjoy it, and a review should be coming soon enough on that one. Just want to get like another play or 2 in. And then lastly, my number 1 experience is Primal. Every single time I table it, I just have such a good time with it. I recommend it. I think it's fantastic. I definitely check out Primal if you can. I've been doing both in this video. I've been telling you about all these small box experiences that are amazing, that are incredible. You don't have to go out and spend hundreds of dollars. And then I end off the video by being like, my best experience is that $200 game called Primal that has a lot of table presence and a whole lot of shelf space, and you can't fit in a Callus cubby, but hey, get that one too. Oh, and Circle the Wagons. Those are the 2 games you can get. But really, I guess the point there, good way to end off the video is, it's not necessarily about leaning into all giant boxes are the best, all giant boxes are the worst, all good games are bad, all good games are the best or the worst. Like, it's not about leaning into specific cubbies of how things operate. I am an Omni gamer. I think that there's merit to small box affordable games like Circle the Wagons, like Hanamakoji, like Airland and Sea. There's merit to those experiences. And then sometimes there's merit to experiences like Primal that give you an incredible experience. There's Cthulhu Death May Die, which is going to be one of my favorite games. And then there's the middle of the range. There's games like Terraforming Mars and Rurik and Inish and all these other games that are kind of in the middle of the spectrum. Not giant boxes, not super cheap. There's really a lot of excellent games out there in all different categories, and it's up to you to try to find the ones that resonate most with yourself, that give you that most gaming joy as you try to find which things excite you the most in this wonderful hobby of ours. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. This has been your month in review for October, and as always, and until next time, I hope you have a good one.